Welcome to the United States of America's Miss Arizona podcast. We're here today with the United States of America's Mrs. Arizona, Jennifer Rio Ruddle. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to see you.
I know. It's been so hard not being connected with the quarantine and isolation. So it's really great to see you and
Yeah.
talk to you.
I know. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard being in different states. It's been a challenge.
I would love for you to share with our listeners a little bit about your background. How did you get to Arizona?
Sure. So I was actually born and raised in New York. Most of my family is still there, but we moved to Arizona when I think I was 12. And I just kind of stayed here. I met my husband here. I went to high school and college here. So Arizona is, like my second home now. So I've been here for a long time.
That's great. And you're a graduate of Arizona State University.
Yes. Proud Arizona State University graduate. It's a great college. They had a wonderful theater program. So I was really happy to stay in Arizona and to go to school there.
You went to school to be an actress, and I understand you've had some really interesting roles in commercials and stage acting. Tell us a little bit about that.
I did. I knew from a very young age that I wanted to be an actor. I think I was about 8, and I went to drama camp, and I played Snow White in a show called Mickey is Missing. And I just fell in love with the stage. So when I went to college, I studied theater performance and really focused mostly on theater until I was in my 20s. And then I branched out and I started doing some film and some commercial work, and I love it. They're all so different, but I love acting, any form. So I'm very blessed to have that as my career now.
So, how did you get involved in pageantry?
I actually started doing pageants when I was young, and it was really fun at the time. It was a fun way to meet new friends, and you were always doing exciting events with the other girls, and it was fun to get dressed up. And I stuck with it until I was about 18. It was always something that I really enjoyed. But then once I went to college, I kind of lost that. I got wrapped up in school and in other events, so I didn't get a chance to do as much pageantry then. But I'm really excited that I got back involved with it as an adult.
I am too. And it's a great platform, I think, for people who are in modeling and acting because it gives you a lot of experience being able to articulate your ideas and have
Absolutely.
experiences at different events, and certainly getting your picture taken a lot, doing some modeling with some of our sponsors.
Absolutely. I think it's great for anyone who's interested in that type of career, especially when you're young. When you're young, you learn a lot about how to walk, how to interview, how to do public speaking. And those things carry with you throughout any career, really. So I think it's such a great experience. Plus, you meet so many women who are doing different things in their community. And when you're young, you meet a lot of other people who are interested in the same things that you are. So it's really a great way to get involved with other people and to expand your horizons.
For sure. For some people who have never been exposed to pageants, they might not realize that pageantry is actually a sport. What are some of the things that you personally do to prepare for competition?
It's so great that you say that. That's so true. I think a lot of people think that being in a pageant is just wearing beautiful gowns and walking around on stage. But when I was preparing for this pageant, I was working out 6 days a week. I trained with an Olympic athlete. So my workouts were no joke. She worked me out really, really hard. And it was great. You do learn a lot about again, walking, speaking in public. Being a public speaker is very important in this industry because you do have a lot of speaking engagements. It's not just having your photo taken. So you do spend a lot of time going out into the community and sharing your experiences with the pageant, with your background, and learning to speak about the things that are important to you.
Public speaking is one of those aspects of pageantry that, as you mentioned, carries through no matter what type of job you have. Being able to articulate your ideas, which is so important as a woman in business. I find that to be taken seriously, you have to really be at the top of your game, articulate about current events, and be able to share your ideas in a way that you can sell them to other individuals.
Absolutely. It's so important. And, we interview with judges. So it's important to be able to talk about different things that are not just going on in your community, but your experiences as well. And sometimes it's easy to talk to friends about those things. But when you're meeting new people or you're speaking in front of crowds, a lot of people get nervous, a lot of people get tongue tied. So it's really wonderful to be in an environment like this where you do learn those valuable skills.
What is one of the best things that has come from your experience with the United States of America's pageant?
I would say going to the national competition and being to compete on a national level, you just meet so many wonderful people, and especially for a woman in her 40s, it's really great to see other women who are using their platforms to go out and do good in the world. I think as a teenager, sometimes doing pageants, we didn't focus so much on that aspect of it. But now, later on in life, we do. And so going to the national pageant and meeting all these amazing women who were so supportive and so strong and doing such wonderful things was really encouraging for me and enlightening. It was amazing to see that all these women all over the world are doing wonderful things with their titles.
It is great to see, and that is one of the things that attracted me to pageantry was the element of giving back to the community and fighting for causes that you believe in and really making a difference, because that's something that I find to be very important as well as very rewarding for me as an individual.
Absolutely, me too. And to have that with other women across the country who also support you, and to find different organizations like at the national pageant, it was interesting to hear what other people are supporting and what they're doing in their community and how we can work together, how our organizations and our platforms can kind of coexist and we can help each other to go out and do more together.
That's a great lead-in question for my next topic. What is your platform and why is it important to you?
So my platform was Never Too Young. It is early on. It's all about early onset colorectal cancer awareness and early detection. I am a stage 4 colorectal cancer survivor. So that was something that was really important to me. More than just a platform, it's really my life and the life that I'm living now. And it's important for me to share that with other people because I had no family history. I didn't know much about colon cancer before I was diagnosed. And especially being someone young, that's not really on your radar. I think growing up, we were always taught that colorectal cancer was something that older people got. You weren't screened until after you were 50. But now it's on the rise in younger people. It's actually decreasing in older people because they're getting screened, but younger people aren't. And so the numbers are really on the rise. And going through it myself, I saw the need to then bring attention to it on a bigger scale.
And I'm going to try not to get emotional as we talk about this. Um, because I've gotten to know you over the last year, and you are such an inspiration to cancer
Make me cry now.
And you're still on this journey you were on a vacation with your husband, you started feeling sick, and then you went to the hospital and they said you have cancer. What kind of um, processes did you have to go through in order to treat that? And how has that changed your life?
Wow. It's so funny. I was talking to someone yesterday and I said, I don't think that you can be diagnosed with cancer, any form of cancer, at any stage and it not change you. I was young, I was 41, I was healthy, I was active. My husband and I were in Belize, climbing Mayan ruins. I had never felt healthier or stronger in my life. And like you said, we got back, and a few weeks later, I thought I had the flu. I went to my doctor and I had a blood test, and he called me and he said, you need to get to the emergency room right now. You could have a stroke or a heart attack at any minute, um, and die. So I went to the emergency room. I was checked into the hospital right away. They ran a bunch of tests and they found a mass, and they did some more tests and they found it had spread, and they told me that I had stage 4 cancer and I had an 11% chance of survival. And at the time, I remember looking at the doctor and saying, "No, you must have mixed up my test with someone else's. That can't be true." So I really went through a period of being scared, being angry, being depressed. It's a lot. 2018 was a very difficult year for me. I had 4 surgeries in 12 months. One of those included fertility preservation, because something you find out is that radiation and chemo can cause you to go into early menopause. And my husband and I still wanted kids. We don't have kids now. And that was something we still looked forward to. So hearing that we might not be able to have children was devastating, on top of all the other things we were dealing with. So I went through fertility preservation, I went through chemotherapy, I went through radiation, I had surgeries. I had to have a temporary colostomy, which was devastating to somebody who is an actor and was used to having costume changes and things like that. That was hard to take on what that was going to do to my body. I was able to have it reversed and I'm doing great now. And, several years later, I'm still not 100% out of the woods. I'm actually getting ready to go back into radiation treatment next week. Some of the spots that were in my lungs, they found a few weeks ago, were still active. But luckily, I have great doctors. They monitor me very closely. We were able to find this right away, and hopefully, we'll get it treated and I'll be cancer free soon. But, cancer, that's the scary thing, is what I think, once you're diagnosed with cancer, you're always worried about it. And I try not to focus on that because I don't want to live my life constantly being in fear. So I go and I get my checkups and I get my CT scans and I get my blood tests and I stay on top of it. And if something comes up like this did, then I work with my doctors to get it treated. I think staying positive is really important. I think that having a great support group is really important. Because this all happened to me, I got involved with the Colorectal Cancer Alliance and the Never Too Young Advisory Board. And now I'm working to help inspire other people and give other people hope the way it was given to me when I first was diagnosed. Those groups were so important for me. They have a buddy system where there are people who are similar age and similar diagnosis who will call you and say, "Hey, how are you doing? What's going on with you? This is what I went through." And it's really amazing to have that support from someone else who's gone through it. So I always said that once I was to this point, I was going to do that. I was going to get involved and give back. And that's part of what I've done with the pageant too. Being in this role with the United States of America pageant has given me a bigger platform to speak and reach more people and tell more people my story and work with other people on their stories and hearing what they've been through, and to give them hope and encouragement for the future that, being diagnosed with stage cancer doesn't always mean a death sentence. You can still have a full life. And So it's important for me to share my story and to be that for other people.
And you certainly are an inspiration. I think you touched on so many different things that I want to follow up with. The whole process of emotions that you experienced, that is, I think, very relatable to anyone who has not just been diagnosed with cancer, but any life-threatening illness, that they
Absolutely.
go through that process, and it shouldn't be something that is defines your whole life and your whole being. Yes, you are a cancer survivor and you're an amazing representation of an inspiration to others as how a cancer survivor should be living their life and inspiring other people and being an advocate. It will always be a part of you. As you mentioned, I think a lot of people who haven't had a lifelong illness or haven't had a life-threatening diagnosis, it is a part of your life, and it definitely does change you. But you can do so much good. I love the buddy system that you mentioned. I think that's so important for people, no matter what their illness is, that they have a good support network out there of someone who has walked in their shoes that can be that empathetic voice and be that resource to really help get them through those tough times, because
Absolutely.
it's something that they definitely need for their, not their just their physical health, but their mental health is so
Absolutely. I
important.
think the mental health is such a big part of it. I was speaking to somebody yesterday who's also a cancer survivor, and we were talking about just this, about the emotions that you go through, and there definitely were times that I was angry, and that was hard for me to process because I don't tend to be an angry person, but you get angry that this happened to you, and there aren't really answers as to why. Like I said, I was healthy, I was active, I didn't have family history. So other people, friends and family can say, I understand, but you don't really understand until you've gone through it. And it's hard to explain that to somebody because I think people want to empathize with you and they want to sympathize, but it's just very different. So having a buddy, having somebody who's been there and can say, I really do understand because I've felt those feelings and I know exactly what you're saying, and can have that conversation with you is so important. And to know that it's okay to feel those feelings. When I was angry, I felt guilty that I was angry. I felt guilty that I felt bad. And it's okay. It's okay to feel those feelings. It's okay to be angry, but you just need to go through it and then move past it. It's not good to stay in that anger, because you have to keep fighting, and that's what's important. So I was talking to somebody the other day that said that, and I said, that's the important thing is you go through it, but then you say, okay, what's the next step? What do I have to do now? Because I'm not done living. I have a lot more to do in this world, and so I have to go through it. What's the next step? Is the next step radiation? Okay, I'm not excited about it, but I'm going to do it because I have a lot more to do in this world.
So when you're having these emotions, anger, depression, how do you snap out of it and get past that? Because I think sometimes people do have a hard time getting through that. And we see a lot of people suffering from depression just from the current world situations. So what kind of advice would you have for them? Because you do come across as an extremely positive person. And I'm sure there are days that you are down in the dumps, or you said you're angry. How do you move past that and get on with life?
I think for me, in the beginning, I had a hard time talking about it. I tried to keep those feelings to myself and to fight it on my own. But over the last few years, I've learned to open up. I've learned to speak up when I am feeling those things and to talk about it with my friends, with my family, with my husband. Sometimes my husband will come home and I'll sit down and I'll say, "Hey, I need to tell you, I had a bad day. I'm feeling depressed. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. And I just need to talk about it. And really, I found that sharing those feelings, sometimes just saying it out loud, really, really has helped me. Keeping it in and holding on to it and trying to deal with it on my own was just making it worse. So having a support system and people that you really trust and can speak to has been huge for me, and feeling safe that I can talk about my feelings with these people has been great. Sometimes I'll text my cousin and I'll just say, "Hey, I'm feeling sad today. I'm worried about this or I'm worried about that." Even if it's not cancer related, like you said, sometimes it's things that are going on that I'm seeing on the news or on social media. And it's so good to just be able to voice that to somebody who I trust and I feel safe with, that'll say, "I understand." And that's been really helpful for me. So I would say find that support system, whether it's one person or two people, but someone you trust and feel safe confiding in.
That's great advice. What can others do to help support your platform?
So first of all, if you, I would say know your body. If you have any symptoms of colorectal cancer, if you're having gastrointestinal issues, if you see blood in your stool, I think sometimes things like that are hard to talk about and we're afraid of them. We don't want to talk to our friends about it. We don't want to talk to our doctor about it, but be aware of your body, know what's going on, know your family history. A lot of people don't talk about those things with their family members, but it's important to know what your family history is, because colon cancer is hereditary in a lot of people. So it's important to know what that is. And then go get screened. If you are having symptoms, go get screened. Get involved in your community. We have the Walk to End Colon Cancer in Phoenix in November. Come out, join my team, make another team, get involved. And I think stuff like that is so important. And it's important for us as individuals and important for our families and communities.
You've been involved not only in cancer related charitable groups during your pageant experience. What other charities have you been involved in supporting with the United States of America Arizona pageant?
So I'm also really involved with animal rescue. I'm a big supporter of animal rescue. My boxer will be 12 next month, and she was a rescue. She was a foster fail. And so I support a lot of organizations that are doing animal rescue. I think that's something that a lot of people should be doing. I loved fostering and I love helping other animals. So I think that's something that I really enjoy as well. And of course, the arts. I see a lot of theater when I can. Right now, it's been very difficult, but I support a lot of local theaters as well.
That's great. And I know I've seen pictures of your adorable boxer. I love animals myself. I think that's a great way to get involved. And it's a great way to help you through difficult mental times. It's good for your mental wellness to have that snuggly animal, right?
Absolutely. I say that all the time. Animals are just about love. And my dog, anybody who's talked to me for more than 5 minutes knows I'm a big animal supporter. And I treat her like my child. She's like my baby. And so hers having that love and support of an animal is huge. So my family's always been big animal lovers. So it comes naturally to me. But any kind of animal. I know I have friends that have cats. I have a friend that has a hedgehog. So I just think the love of an animal is incredible. It's unconditional.
For sure. And at this stressful time in people's lives, having that outlet of something that provides you unconditional love can be just amazing stress relief.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Just I think too, it kind of it shifts your focus a little bit, having that animal there and attending to their needs and their love. It's just a very different experience.
What are some other ways that you have reduced your stress and stayed connected with the community during this time of quarantine, especially as someone who's high risk that maybe hasn't been out as much as other people? Because Arizona's open, right?
It is. Arizona's open. I'm still self-distancing. It's been hard. I'm a very social person. I like being out. I like being able to see my friends, to hug my friends. So it's been challenging, but it's taught me a lot, and I've learned a lot of different ways to still stay connected with people. A lot of different things. I was supposed to be speaking at a conference in New York. I was supposed to attend a conference in Orlando, and those things got canceled. But luckily, they did Zoom meetings like this, so I was still able to connect with other cancer survivors via Zoom. Our Never Too Young board does weekly social hours where we play games and we just check in with each other. And so that's been great. A lot of times there's people in other states that we don't always get to see. So now, because of COVID and things have been shut down, we've been doing more things on Zoom, on Ring Central. So we've still been able to connect that way. And so that's been really fun. It's been challenging, but it's been really fun at the same time.
On a lighter note, as a queen, what is a beauty tip that you can share with others?
Oh, I think that skin regimen is so important. I don't think I realized that when I was younger, but I think taking care of your skin is really important, especially here in Arizona with the sun being so strong. Wearing sunscreen is really important. I think using good products, I try to use products that are good for the environment, that are vegan friendly, and that support anti-aging and support, being out in the sun for long periods of time and taking care of my skin. So I think any good skincare routine is very important as you get older. And I think it's good to start when you're younger because you're going to be in that skin for a long time. So you might as well take care of it.
That's for sure. You only have one skin, and as you age, I feel like areas that you didn't take care of, you can identify people who maybe didn't wear sunscreen, or a lot of people show aging in their hands because they didn't put sunscreen on the tops of their hands, and it starts to age them for sure.
Yeah, sunscreen and moisturizer, it's important.
And lots of water.
Yes, always stay hydrated. My esthetician actually told me how great staying hydrated is for your skin. So I try to drink as much water as possible just to keep my skin staying healthy.
Yeah.
And we're so lucky to have such great sponsors with United States of America that give us great products to continue that regimen. I'm very grateful to our sponsors for that.
We do get to sample some great products. As a queen, that's one of the benefits of the program. For someone who is considering competing in the next United States of America Arizona pageant, what encouragement or advice would you give them?
Oh, my encouragement would be definitely do it. Get involved. It's so much fun. We really bond too. I am so close to all my other sister queens. Our Ms. Arizona and I talk almost daily. Our Miss Arizona and I talk all the time. She's like my little sister. I love her so much. Our teen Arizona is amazing. So I think the friendships that you bond and you get from being involved in a pageant are incredible. And even our other delegates that aren't state representatives, I'm still in contact with them and I follow their lives and we connect. And it's just such a great experience to meet new people and to get involved with them. So I would highly encourage anyone, if you're looking to meet some new people and have a really great experience, get involved. Come join the pageant. I would love to have new delegate sisters to be friends with and to hang out with. So get involved.
And as the outgoing United States of America Mrs. Arizona this year, one of your opportunities will be to mentor some of those new delegates. So that's really exciting.
Wait, I'm very excited. I can't wait. It's really such a wonderful experience, and I hope that more people get involved and can enjoy this the way that we have.
So what's next for you? What does the future hold? Are there any big goals that you're chasing after? Other than
You know,
getting through your radiation, because we know that's happening, and check that off the list,
I
right?
know, check that off the list. I'm excited to see more people. I'm excited for things to start opening and to be able to be out more. COVID is still kind of scary for me because I'm immunocompromised, but I'm really looking forward to being able to socialize more and get out more. It's been hard being a quarantine queen and not being able to have that social time with my community. I've done a lot of drive-by pageants or drive-by parades and parties, but I'm looking forward to getting out and being able to socialize with people more.
Let's end on a positive note. What is your favorite motivational or inspirational quote or piece of encouragement that you can give our listeners?
So I would say actually it's so funny. My favorite motivational song, I would say, is Champion by Carrie Underwood. I will tell you that before state and national, a lot of times when I was on the treadmill, I would listen to that song, and it's just so encouraging because we're all champions. We all do incredible things in our lives, whether it's battling cancer or battling mental disease, whatever it is, we all have things that we're proud of that we've done, and we're all champions. And I think focusing on that and knowing that you're an amazing person and that you're doing great things in this world, I think know that, have that in your soul, and project that out and go out and show the world the champion that you are.
That is great advice. Thank you so much for chatting with me today on the podcast. We'll be
So
praying
good to
for
see
you.
you.
We'll be praying for you as you go through your radiation and be
Thank
following
you.
your journey, because I know it can be a stressful time, but you're going to get through it. And we're looking forward to seeing you in November at the pageant.
Me too. Thank you so much, Kel. It was so good to see you.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.